and welcome to Media Lit, where we treat each piece of media like great literature. I'm your host, Randy Elaine, and joining me, as always, is the Dark Knight himself, Chris Ingersoll. Chris Ingersoll, feel like we haven't recorded in a minute. How you doing?
So good, buddy, but also feeling rusty. A little in the joints. I need to get a little Tin Man oil can because I am rusty. It's been a while since we sat down to do this thing. And tonight it's not like a classic. It's a draft night. So I'm really excited to get back into it. How are you, pal?
Well, I could not be happier, Chris, because we are doing just a special pet project of mine tonight. As you know, I am a fan of the works of filmmaker Wes Anderson. They are quirky and they are strange, but they are oh so fun to look at. No one would disagree with the fact that he is a unique creator. People are fascinated with his style, even if they aren't fans. It's unfortunately one of the aesthetics that supporters of AI try to create slop with all the time. But instead of creating AI slop with Wes Anderson tonight, we're going to come up with our own very unique creations in a very unique draft that I am calling the Midnight Coterie of Cinephile Podcasters. And as you know, I love to create a fictional multiversal scenario, so I have an excuse to talk about characters and creators that I love. So for tonight's concept, you will imagine that iconic auteur Wes Anderson has awakened within a dream world inhabited by his past characters. Your job, drafters, is to fill this dream world with a ragtag cast of his unique misfits. They will surround their creator in a world of affectation, eccentricity, and crippling loneliness. But in the end, everyone will move one step closer to emotional maturity. And that is the game. This is actually kind of easy compared to our Game of Thrones draft, Chris.
Oh my gosh. Compared to Game of Thrones, this is sorry, right? Roll the dice, move your guy. Very sorry is a spinner. I'm so ashamed, especially in your great board game royalty presence, buddy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, my wonderful host, Chris, has decided to help me with some of the game mastering responsibilities tonight. So he's going to go through and introduce our panelists, and then I'll let you know exactly what these ragtag categories are for our Wes Anderson characters, and then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, I won't be drafting tonight. I'm thrilled to be in the MC seat. And so, yeah, absolutely stoked. I'm introducing this very stacked panel of guests that we have joining us for this one. I'm going to say welcome to each of you and welcome you to come off mic, say hello, and just give us a quick take on your relationship to Wes Anderson and his body of work. So first and foremost, please welcome back to the pod entertainment writer and OG friend, Leah Marilla Thomas. How are you, Leah?
Great. You want me to start this? Okay. All right. My relationship with the films of Wes Anderson was very minimal until about 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. Watched a bunch of them in like the dwindling pandemic lockdown days with Hannah Blechman, who I invited with me today, and a couple of our other friends. And I really, Randy, when you asked me to do this, I think I might have been a little overconfident and said, yeah, I love Wes Anderson. And then I went back and started looking and I said, do I actually? Because I started going back through my reviews and I really struggled with a lot of these films, but some of them I love so much. So this will be interesting. I'm really back and forth. It took until one of the more recent ones where it felt like it was for me. Which is strange because, like, I'm an only child. I was an intellectual, little precocious child. I love dollhouses. I love Polly Pocket. His aesthetic should appeal to me, and yet there's sometimes a disconnect, which is at minimum interesting.
He is a divisive director, and I'm excited tonight to find the places that he works for you and the places that he doesn't. Hopefully, the draft is revealing in that way.
And isn't that cool that it can be divisive even within like my own opinion, you know?
Means he's making good choices.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a brand new friend of the pod, but a seasoned podcast guest in his own right and a certified cinephile, Scott Cole. Welcome to Media Lit.
Thanks for having me. I was going to say You can tell how much of a movie nerd and not a sports guy I am because I had to ask about 3 different clarifying questions about what a draft is. So, but I'm very excited. My introduction to Wes Anderson was Royal Tenenbaums in the theater. I remember I made my family go because I was too young to get in. So my family took me to see Royal Tenenbaums, and they were like, "What was that?" I was like, "That was great. I really liked it." So I've been on board ever since. I think I'm like one of those who kind of maybe prefers the early Wes Anderson to the later, but they all have their own strengths and weaknesses. So
Okay. I hope the draft goes in your favor. You can secure some of those early favorites.
yeah.
Third on our panel tonight, a man who's also no stranger to the cinema and no stranger to this very podcast. Please welcome Bill George, host of the Should I Go See It podcast and Instagram space. They do one-sentence reviews of every film that's ever been released ever in the history of movies. Bill, welcome to Media Lit.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I try to see everything. I try. I wouldn't say we do see everything, unfortunately, but a lot. And I have seen all of these Wes Anderson movies. I was happy when I looked back and realized I had seen all of them. And for me, it started with Bottle Rocket. It was one of those things where my neighbor, who was just like, a year or two older than me, like the cool guy who introduces you to all this stuff, showed me the DVD, I think, of Bottle Rocket. And I was like, what is this? And then pretty much went in order from then on. Saw pretty much all of them in theaters in order from then on. And I have some of them I had only seen in theaters. And so I had to go back and I did rewatch one or two in preparation for this. So I think I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. So he's not Nolan for you, but he's up there.
He's up there. I do like, I would say the majority of his work for sure. There are definitely some that I have issues with or some that don't connect with me as much, but I would say the majority of it, I'm a big fan.
Love it. Okay. And our fourth guest of the night, name dropped once already because she's a dear friend of Leah Marilla Thomas. Please welcome Hannah Blechman, co-host of the Authorized Novelization podcast. Old friend of Leah's, new friend of the pod. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you for having me. I, like Scott, saw Royal Tenenbaums in a theater at age 11 and have been a little sad ever since, just like a life-changing experience. I'm like a Tenenbaums Life Aquatic Darjeeling girly, but I love all of them kind of without reservation. I'm in the bag. I'm here. I'm really very nervous for this experience. I think I'm going to do a bad job.
I think you're going to crush it based on your pure love for Wes Anderson, but hey, we'll see. Let the
and
chips fall where they may.
ability to manage expectations.
Set the bar low.
And last but certainly not least, another returning friend of this pod, co-host of her own podcast, that is the Movies and Us podcast. Welcome, Sarah Callen. Welcome back to Media Lit, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am a big Wes Anderson fan. I was first introduced to him by a roommate in 2012, and she showed me Royal Tenenbaums and Darjeeling Limited, and I was like, yes, I am in. And I had seen every one of his movies except for Bottle Rocket, and in preparation for this, I have now seen Bottle Rocket, so now I have seen all of his films, and I'm very excited about that accomplishment.
For that alone, this draft will have been worth it.
Yes.
Love
So
to hear.
thank you for forcing me to finally, fill that gap in my knowledge.
Lovely. All these Tenenbaum fans, not a single tracksuit on the pod. Color me disappointed.
You're not wearing one either, Chris.
Well, I'm not the Wes Anderson fan, folks.
I don't care.
You got me.
I'm here for Wes Anderson's Batman, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe someday.
There was some rhyme and reason to the order in which I read those names. Nestled in there was our draft order. Drafting first, we'll have Leah Marilla Thomas, followed by Scott Cole, then Randy Elaine, who didn't get introduced because he is our host, followed by Bill George, then Hannah Blechman, and lastly, Sarah Callen.
Beautiful, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that people have similar Wes Anderson stories to mine. You have to get one movie and figure out how you feel about it. And if he is for you, you will be all in. For me, I was in high school having a chat with a much cooler friend about my appreciation for Bill Murray. This was in the late 90s or the early 2000s. I can't remember when I finally actually watched for the first time. And I was like, I was talking about Ghostbusters and stuff like that. He's like, well, have you seen Rushmore? It's my favorite Bill Murray performance. Uh, and high school Randy did not know what he was getting into. And I knew I liked something I saw, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I have since probably watched Rushmore more than at least most movies I've ever seen. And I've come to really, really love it. And yeah, I took in the whole catalog and watching those movies get more and more beautiful, but maybe also more and more distant emotionally at times has been an interesting journey. But sometimes you can still cut right through it. So can't wait to celebrate my faves with everyone tonight. Uh, Before I finally just let Chris take over without interrupting him, I will let everyone know what the categories are that we're going to be drafting tonight. To fill out this hypothetical dream world, each of our teams will have a precocious child character, a detached parent character. I put parent in parentheses because maybe someone takes on the role of a parent, but they are not the official biological parent. We are going to have one lost soul, one loyal sidekick, one flawed mentor, one schemer, one dreamer, and one wild card. And as for limitations on this draft, each drafter can only select up to one character from each Wes Anderson film. And because, like many creators, Wes Anderson has a cast of favorites who often recur in his films, we can also only pick uh, one character from each performer who recurs in Wes Anderson films. So let's do this.
Okay. As per usual, I'm going to do my best to keep things moving, giving each drafter 1 minute on the clock to register their pick and maybe tell us why. Without further ado, we'll kick it right off with our first pick of the night. Leah, you are on the clock.
Okay. Since I am first and you won't hear from me for a really long time, I have to swing really big. For my lost soul, I am taking Francis Whitman, played by Owen Wilson in The Darjeeling Limited. This is my favorite Wes Anderson film. This is probably my favorite Owen Wilson character, even though I am not, I have no siblings. I am not spiritual. I'm not type A, as you will see by the way I do this draft. But there's something about over planning in a crisis that like really resonates with me. Great performance, great character, and I think he could use this sort of Wes Anderson bardo that we're creating in a sense, and I'm going to try to build it around him if I can.
An amazing first pick, well registered. Love me some Owen Wilson.
It's the best. Remember when he was in these movies? Bring him back.
Remember when he was
We need
writing
him.
some of these movies?
I mean,
Don't we
remember
miss
when
him?
he was writing some of these movies?
You
God.
know?
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. All right. Coming in with the second pick of the draft, Scott Cole, you are on the clock.
Well, like Randy, when I saw everything, Rushmore has been the one that's my favorite. Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to have to take Max Fisher. And I'm going to take him in Dreamer, actually. You know, Max Fisher is always preparing for a reality that doesn't exist. He's, thinking about the future, making his whatever his dreams of the future are. He wants to be political or, he's got everything laid out ahead of him, even if it's not realistic. And then, of course, the pretty heartbreaking dream of being in love with Miss Cross. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Max Fisher, Jason Schwartzman. That's my pick.
Can't go wrong with Schwartzman. Great dreamer. All right, coming along next to our third pick, the mastermind behind it all, Randy Elaine. What are you going to do first, Randy?
Well, I invited Scott onto this podcast, and that might have been a huge mistake because I said, if Max is there for me, I can't not take Max because I love that film so much. I think he has one of the purest and fullest character arcs of almost anyone in a Wes Anderson movie. Great character. I'm glad Scott picked him, but that just means I'll get to pick another beloved character from that film later on, so it's okay. I'm going to have a great night. I thought I would know what to do. There are a ton of great options here, but I'm going to say one category I feel a little bit weaker in is the schemer category, so I'm going to go there and take who might possibly be, for me, the best schemer of everyone across all these films. I'm going to go with M. Gustav from the Grand Budapest Hotel. No one knows how to put zero through his paces and turn his job running this hotel into one giant scam after another. He's always running interference, but he will never give up the facade of the formality of the Grand Budapest. He will never let that guard down, and no one can scheme like M. Gustav.
Excellent choice. I trust you, and you tell me that that's a narrow category. I'm sure it was wise to secure it early. Bill George, you are up next with 1 minute on the clock. What is your first pick?
I am so devastated. You don't even know. When I first got invited to the draft, I was like, I'm just going to recreate Grand Budapest Hotel because it's the best one by far.
No.
And then I saw you can only pick one character, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to at least get Gustav. And here we are without it. So
Just paying it
here we
forward from
go.
Scott, you know?
Yep. So I'm going to have to go to my fallback Budapest pick, which was also a thin category for me. So I'm happy with it. I will take Zero, the lobby boy, as my precocious child.
Beautiful.
In my overall thoughts on Wes Anderson, I think Grand Budapest is like the peak to me. I feel like that's like his most Wes Anderson-y without being too Wes Anderson-y. And it's just the funniest and most rewatchable of the films for me. And I definitely wanted either Zero or Gustav, or if it was a draft that allowed it both. So I will be happy with my securing of our beloved lobby boy.
No draft strategy is maintained beyond contact with the enemy. I'm not surprised you had to pivot so soon.
Yep.
All right. With that, sending it down to our nervous drafter and new friend, Hannah Blechman. Hannah, for your first pick, you are on the clock.
Okay, so my strategy has become over the past 3 selections that for movies that I really didn't have anybody picked out for because it just didn't I couldn't figure it out, I'm going to start there to just get those done. And then I have more options for the other movies. So I'm going to put in schemer Zsa Korda from the Phoenician Scheme. I feel like that might be a big get, and I'm going to get it. I don't know.
How does everybody feel? This is a big get. This is a phenomenal pick. Somebody that everybody was hoping else to have.
I had Zsa slotted for like a couple possibilities. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did as well.
Okay.
Very high on several of my lists. And for me, the highlight of that film, for sure.
Who wants to tell me how to spell Zsa?
ZSA.
Love it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Fantastic. Great pick. Moving on to Sarah Callen for the last pick of the very first round. Sarah, you have 1 minute on the clock.
All right. I was not ready for some of my number 1 picks to be taken, so let me think through how I'm going to do this. In the Lost Soul category, I am going to pick Margot from the Royal Tenenbaums. My girl.
She was my number 1 in that category as well. Great pick.
Oh, excellent.
Is that about feel how it's going so far, that we're taking kind of the top picks in each category through that first round?
Yes and no. Some of these characters can slot into so many different categories depending on how you read them.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Gustav as flawed mentor. Like, there's so many that could be in so many different places.
I had him as precocious child.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can make the argument in so many ways for so many of these. So it's really interesting to see them go away.
Well, I'll be excited to review the draft board when it's all said and done. But for now, it's round 2. And Sarah, we're back to you for the first pick of round 2.
All right. For my pick in round 2, I'm going to go in the schemer category. I am going to choose Mr. Fox from the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I know that one.
Excellent.
Wonderful. I mean, schemer by definition, excellent pick. Feels like a high choice in that category for sure. All right.
Well, I wish I could do his little winky mouth click sounds right now, but can't pull it off.
Shucks. The Zoom would probably just filter it out anyways. Thinks it's very clever these days. Hey, Hannah, I also have a black cat.
Yeah, he loves to be involved. I'm sorry.
Yeah, mine too.
Hey.
Well, he can help you make your next pick because we are back to you.
Well, he's blocking my screen where all my picks are. Okay.
Nice.
This is literally, my heart is beating out of my chest. I hate this. I'm so scared in so many ways. It's like I just don't know how best to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard. Okay, I think I simply have to do this because I tried to rewatch some of the Henry Sugars and had a really hard time thinking it through. My Lost Soul, that little Rupert Friend swan, the swan himself, the titular swan.
The Swan. And this was your precocious child?
This is my lost
Your
soul.
lost soul, thank you.
I'm gonna let some other people get some other lost souls, so I'm just gonna have that happening.
I'm so glad you shouted that out, Hannah. I thought I might be able to grab that character late. That's my favorite of the Henry Sugar segments
Me too.
by far. So good.
Stunningly beautiful, extremely deeply felt, so fabulous. So, yeah.
Beautiful. This is making me so very intrigued to educate myself. That's why I love working with Randy. Okay.
I hope he makes 3 more Henry Sugar shorts.
There are 3 more.
So many short films in that short story collection. I mean, short stories in that short story collection. The book is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and 6 more, so 3, math. This is media. Bye.
We just want more. That's the moral of the story. And for now, we're going to get more Bill George. Bill, it's your turn for your second pick. 1 minute on the clock.
Okay, I am really proud of this pick. I got to
Nice.
go with my loyal sidekick,
Yep.
and I'm going to take Dirk Calloway from Rush.
Yes.
Purely because the moment he spits on the car is one of the funniest moments in the history of cinema, and I laugh out loud every single time. So give me Dirk as my loyal sidekick.
That's your loyal sidekick. You got it. All right.
Yeah, Dirk is one of the best characters of all time. From Dennis the Menace to Dirk Calloway. What a career.
Yeah.
Seriously. I wonder if Dirk is equally skilled with a slingshot. We can only wonder. Randy, back to you for your second pick. You've got 1 minute on the clock.
All right. Like everyone else, I'm a little bit confused about where to go because there are just so many possibilities. And I've decided I have to get at least one of my favorite Bill Murray characters because he is, one of like the most recurring characters or performers, I should say, in Wes Anderson films. There are several that I love. So I think I know who I'm picking. I just have to decide which category I'm going to put him in. Yeah, let's go. We're going to go with detached parent, and I'm going to go with Steve Zissou, who really spends that entire film grappling with the idea that he might just be a father. Shocker, he is a bad dad, but he eventually takes one of those little steps forward. But The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, to watch Wes Anderson work with that kind of budget for the first time and just the feast for the eyes that film was such a blast. And Bill Murray just playing this over the top self-involved character was, not only a caricature of this, deep sea explorer, but it felt like a caricature of Bill Murray himself as well. This person that's maybe gotten too big for his britches. And he's got to find some humility. So love Steve Zissou, great detached parent.
I just love the character design. That hat is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to you, Scott, for your second pick.
Like everyone else, I've already completely abandoned my strategy beforehand.
Nice.
Now I'm panicking that I need to pick somebody from a movie that I don't have as many characters to choose from. So for loyal sidekick, I'm going to go with Liesel, Zsa Zsa Corda's daughter in The Phoenician Scheme, played by Mia Thrippleton. Kate Winslet's daughter. I'd never seen her before. I think she's fantastic in that movie. One of the best performances of last year. I find it very moving how dedicated she is to him and how loyal she is during the entire film, all the adventures they go through, even like when she's in danger. I think it's very sweet. And then at the end like almost breaks my heart how sweet it is. So I'm going to go with her.
All right, Scott. That's our second loyal sidekick. Not the most popular category of the night so far. It's the lost soul that's filling up quickest. Keep that in mind as you draft next. Leah, we're back to you.
Not a worry, because I drafted my lost soul first.
You did. No, it's loyal sidekick's the one that's filling up.
So I'm going to move on to a category that I really couldn't think of many people for, and I don't really know if this qualifies because I wouldn't call her flawed, but maybe someone else would. For flawed mentor, I'm going to snag Rosemary Cross, played by Olivia Williams in Rushmore.
Damn it.
We can count that, right? Everyone has flaws. She is a mentor.
That counts.
Yeah.
I see consensus
One of the
and
most
disappointment
crushable
across the panel.
people
Yeah.
ever.
She's one of the reasons that movie is so moving, right?
Yeah.
Because she means well, but whether she likes it or not, she's allowed herself into a little bit of this emotional affair with this teen who reminds her so much of her late husband.
Yeah.
And when you get to that
Yeah.
moment where you see she is sleeping in her husband's childhood bedroom because she can't let go, you really understand that she's got a lot on her plate. So yeah, phenomenal pick.
Right.
Great pick. Great. I had to watch, I think when we watched this, Hannah and I rewatched it and didn't log it on Letterboxd like right after because I was like mad at myself for not liking it as much because like I've said earlier, on paper, it was everything I should like. And it did take the second one. Okay. Anyway, I'm rambling because I need to move on to take another big female Wes Anderson character, which is a small pool, but they have a little punch. For my dreamer, I'm going to take off the board Susie Bishop, played by Kara Hayward in Moonrise Kingdom. Another character
Nice.
I should like more.
Well, she's a very troubled child. It's okay. She's a difficult child.
Right. Wow. With efficiency, Leah has secured her third overall pick, and we are now into our third round. We're going to kick back to you, Scott, for your third pick. Where are we going to go?
Oh God. Okay. Okay. For Schemer, I'm gonna take Dignan, aka Jerry,
No.
played by Owen Wilson in Bottle Rocket. Probably the character in all the movies that makes me laugh the most. He's just so funny to me. I've always really liked that movie, but I watched it again in preparation for this, and now I think it's like top 3 for me. It's just every time I watch it, it gets better. And there's just such a ease of performance with Owen Wilson in that movie, in every movie, but in that movie especially, that you're just like, yeah, you can just tell it's not a surprise that he became a big star, more or less. But I love that character. I find the way he justifies his actions really funny. So yeah, Dignan, he's my Schemer.
I had him as my dreamer.
Oh, that's good too.
As did I.
I like that.
Scott,
Yeah.
my favorite moment in the movie for him is when he just like opens up the hood of the car and he's like really trying to act as if he has any idea how to fix it. And he's just like, I can't fix it because I don't have the tools that I need.
In order to scheme, you got to first dream. I'm not surprised it can go both ways, All right. Randy, we're back to you, buddy. What'll it be?
Well, I was over here like hoping. Sometimes I get into a draft and like at this point I'm breathing easy because it's like, okay, people are prioritizing different characters than me. Everything is fine. That's very much not been the case with the Wes Anderson draft. So I'm also going to go, or I am now going to go to the dreamer category. I had Dignan there. I can't get him. But I needed a Bill Murray and I need an Owen Wilson. So I'm going to turn to the Royal Tenenbaums and Eli Cash. He always wanted to be a Tenenbaum. He always wished he could be. I've always loved that passage from his book during his book reading, as they rode off into the friscolating dusk light. When he just gets super weird in that interview and just like looks off to the side and says, "Wildcat, wildcat." But yeah, here's a guy who's always felt inferior. He's so desperately posturing to try to live up to what he wants to be. When he's on the phone with the newspaper saying, like, did you really have to say that, like, I'm not particularly a genius? Like, is that really necessary? But yeah, Eli Cash, I'm really proud to have him on my team.
In which category did you pick him in?
Dreamer.
He's in your dreamer. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it, pal. All right. Randy's filling up that board. Bill, back to you.
I thought Randy was about to take another one from me. I also need a dreamer. I also need Owen Wilson. So I thought you were going to take this. I'm going to take Ned Plimpton from The Life Aquatic. Owen Wilson trying to find his way in the world, and I'm glad to have I was glad to be able to use Life Aquatic. I was stressing over having something for every movie, and then I realized there's 13 movies and only 8 picks. So, like, we don't have to use every movie. So I am glad to be able to use Life Aquatic in this case. So give me Ned Plimpton as my dreamer.
He is your dreamer. And does that make Owen Wilson so far the most drafted recurring actor so far tonight?
I think so.
Yeah, good for Owen Wilson.
And apparently very dreamy.
Apparently. All right. Hannah, kicking it back to you for your next pick. You've got 1 minute on the clock. You don't have to pick Owen Wilson, just so you know.
Literally the scariest thing. I'd love to pick Owen Wilson. I think I can't. I can't. All of the characters of his that I would have put somewhere have been taken. And that just speaks to how lovely he is. Okie dokie. Well, in that case, I'll take a different Wilson. I'll take Luke, who I love so, so dearly. And I am gonna grab Richie Tenenbaum as a dreamer. Richie, the most important guy to me and maybe all Tenenbaums. Very sad, but I think sad because he has beautiful dreams and wants a happier life and is struggling under those hopes. So I feel like if I don't grab him now, somebody else will.
Right.
I'm just going to put my flag down on that one.
It's not easy to be a Tenenbaum, especially a dreamy one. There has been a run on the dreamer category. My goodness gracious, we're almost done there. Sarah, we're kicking it back over to you now for your next pick. 1 minute on the clock.
Well, I am going to continue the run. And in my dreamer category, because I need to pick one in that category, and people keep picking my picks, I am going to put in that category Henry Sugar from the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. I originally had him in the schemer category, but we're just going to shift him down to dreamer.
Me too. That was my number one schemer. So
yeah.
Nice.
We've established they go hand in hand.
I mean, no one works harder at their scheme, that's for sure.
You got to respect the hustle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, there are no longer any dreamers left to be drafted. That category is closed. Sarah, we're right back to you for your next pick, kicking off our 4th round. You've got 1 minute on the clock.
Okay, I don't think it's a strategic choice, but it's my favorite Wes Anderson movie, so I'm going to talk about it. And in the detached parent category, I am going to choose the one and only Sister Patricia Whitman, played by the lovely Angelica Houston. I love that movie. Darjeeling Limited is my favorite Wes Anderson film, and I get just such a kick out of seeing her as this nun in this remote location. It's everything about her performance is perfect.
Wonderful, wonderful. Only the second detached parent of the night. Not sure what to think about that, if it's a difficult category to pin down, but we'll see what your fellow drafters do as we keep moving forward. Hannah, we're back to you.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't think this is strategic either, but I'm going to do it anyway. Under loyal sidekick, I'm going to choose Scoutmaster Randy, Ed Norton from Moonrise Kingdom. Sweet man, doing his best. A sidekick kind of to the world at large.
Randy is a great name for a sidekick, if I do say so myself. Also a really good name for a Scoutmaster, I think.
I just rewatched the movie this afternoon and I was like, boy, has there ever been a nicer man trying to help people. And if that's not sidekick material, I don't know what is.
No, I'm going to change my answer. Scoutmaster is my job. Math teacher is my side hustle.
Jiminy Crickets, he flew the coop. He's just so sweet. He really is worried about that boy.
Fantastic. Really, really good. Okay. Hannah, I think you were nervous for no reason. You're doing just fine so far tonight.
Yeah.
Bill George, we're back to you, buddy. Where are you going to go?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I think I really was angling for Patricia on that, or detached parent. So I am gonna shift, and this is gonna knock out an option for me for the wild card, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I want a good detached parent category pick. I will go with Royal Tenenbaum himself.
Yeah.
As my detached parent. Um, for the record, my wild card was gonna be Alec Baldwin as the narrator, but I will take Royal Tenenbaum. Yeah, just phenomenal performance. Really glues the whole movie together.
Phenomenal actor. Can never go wrong.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think you secured that category absolutely perfectly. Is that the number one detached parent? I guess not. It wasn't the first one picked, but if I had to guess before this draft happened, I would have guessed he was the premier detached parent.
Yeah. I mean, he's an incredible pick. I wanted my Bill Murray. That's the only reason I didn't pick Royal, but yeah.
Okay. I'm learning as I go here, people. I can't wait to learn more about how Sister Patricia could possibly be a detached parent, given that she's a nun. Lots to learn.
Chris, watch some movies.
I gotta watch some movies.
Yeah, you gotta watch the
Damn
movies.
it.
Jesus.
If only I had a podcast where I could force Chris to watch certain movies.
You tried, and I said, no, I'll MC this one. It was just too much, but I'll catch up.
Too much all at once. I had to play it cooler than that.
Yeah, I can't fire hose Wes Anderson. It's just, he deserves better than that. All right. Randy Elaine, we're back to you, buddy. You got 1 minute on the clock.
All right. This time, Hannah actually saves the day for me because I want to go to Flawed Mentor next. And there are a couple of Flawed Mentors in Moonrise Kingdom that I really, really love. Scoutmaster Ward was certainly one option, just being this kind man. But we also have a local police chief named Captain Sharp. And he steps up to support Sam when he is abandoned by his foster family. Even before he makes the decision to fully offer himself as a foster parent, he has this incredible heart to heart when someone has to step up and watch Sam for one night. He's in his sad little boat trailer. He cooks a sausage for him. They sit down with his heart to heart, and he is so honest, open, and vulnerable about his flaws, which he has. But that openness shows us that he's up to the task. So love Captain Sharp. Shout out Bruce Willis. And there we go.
Sounds like he's got a seat at the Media Lit table. If he's going to be vulnerable, he can always come chat with us.
Yeah, he's a Media Lit boy for sure. Yeah.
Love that. All right. Scott, I'm sure you're prepared because we are back to you and you have 1 minute on the clock.
All right. For Lost Soul, I'm going to go with Chaz Tenenbaum, played by Ben Stiller. Obviously, The Royal Tenenbaums is very funny, but it's also very sad. And I feel like Chaz's character is the perfect encapsulation of both of those. Because, like, for the first half of the movie, you're aware of what's happened to him, but it's all kind of played for laughs, like everything, the beats with him and his kids. And then when his relationship with Royal begins to change later, it's just, it becomes very, very sad what's going on with Chaz and that he's just in deep mourning. Sort of like Rosemary Cross, like y'all were talking about in Rushmore. And Ben Stiller is just great in it. Like, he plays both sides of it so well. He could have fit in a couple of categories, but I'm going to go with Lost Soul for Chaz.
I had him as a potential precocious child.
Yeah,
Sure.
That's good too.
Great choice. This is one that I've seen, like everybody else at the table.
Yeah.
Great choice. All right. Leah, we're back to you. What's it going to be? 1 minute on the clock.
All right. So I will do my schemer now, and I'm going to grab Anthony, played by Luke Wilson in Bottle Rocket. What a lovely, lovely film Bottle Rocket is. And it's so interesting to see how their style developed from there.
Yeah.
But I also think in the Bardo that I'm creating, these are two Wilson brothers characters that would be interesting to interact.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I'm so sorry I interrupted you, but I was just excited because you fall in love with Anthony so quickly. The fact that he is willing to climb out of a window on bed sheets because it's going to make his friend feel really good about his escape attempt he's planned out, even though this is a voluntary hospital he's leaving. Just tells you what kind of guy Anthony's going to be. Love that.
And it tells you what kind of friends making movies together these 3+ are.
Mm-hmm. Wow, going back to 1996. Great pick. All right. Well, Leah.
I'm back.
Yeah, right back off mute. Your turn again. What's it going to be?
All right. So, let's see. I am traumatized by the Lost draft where I had to then take these characters and pitch something. I thought it would be nice to have a doctor in there. So I'm grabbing Dr. Chatterjee, played by Dev Patel, and Henry Sugar, which is one of my favorite Roald Dahl short stories. I tried to learn how to Henry Sugar when I was a child. That's a true story of my precocious child brain. I tried to learn how to see with my eyes closed. Normal thing to do.
Amazing. No, that is amazing. That is a wonderful thing to do. We are big Roald Dahl heads in this household.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. Well, with your loyal sidekick on the board, you can take a break for now, and we're back to Scott. Scott Cole, 1 minute on the clock.
All right. One of my goals before we started was I'm going to try to get I'm trying to get it as even as I can get it between men and women. And so, having said that, I'm going to pick for detached parent Midge Campbell, played by Scarlett Johansson in Asteroid City. Maybe the best performance in Asteroid City. I think she's incredible in that movie. And it's the kind of performance when you see it, you're like, how has she not been in their company the whole time? Like, she fits right in so well. Like, I don't think like tons of actors could like deliver the dialogue the way it needs to. She just is perfect. Like, I think she's great in the movie. I think she's very funny. Like, she's not even trying to be funny. It's like such deadpan humor, but she's great. I've always thought she's great, but I really, really like her in Asteroid City. And yeah, she's a very detached parent in that. So I'll go with that for her junior stargazer child.
Excellent choice. Looks like everybody co-signs. Okay. Randy, we're back to you, buddy. You got 1 minute on the clock.
All right. Oh man, I've got a couple categories I'm struggling with. Not because I don't have the options, I just cannot decide. But I do have one category I feel pretty confident about. So I'm gonna take it to loyal sidekick. And I'm going to break the ice on one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies, which is Isle of Dogs. I absolutely love Isle of Dogs. Um, you know, I'm not even particularly what you would call a dog person, yet somehow this movie still moves me close to tears with the way it captures what these abandoned dogs are going through and what it means for them to connect with a person. And I'm going to go with Bryan Cranston's Chief as my loyal sidekick. He's a stray. He bites. He has a hard time connecting, but once he does, he becomes as loyal as any dog could ever be. It's such a great use of Bryan Cranston. I love the arc for that character over the course of the film. And he's got so much depth he can bring to our crew. So, not to mention, eventually, a translation device that will allow him to communicate with at least one other person. So, there you go.
Absolutely beautiful. Glad we can celebrate Bryan Cranston on the pod tonight. And it feels as though Isle of Dogs is just like the category made for a loyal sidekick, or the film made for the loyal sidekick category. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could have not just even the dogs themselves. Lots of loyal sidekicks there.
All right. Well, with that, we're back to you, Bill George. You've got your lost soul left to pick, flawed mentor. You could do a schemer. And of course, everybody's still got their wild card. Lots of discipline in the wild card category tonight.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I don't know if this is the right move strategically, but I just want to get it taken care of. For Lost Soul, this is a movie I rewatched last night to get ready for this because I hadn't seen it since theaters. I rewatched The French Dispatch.
Nice.
And Jeffrey Wright's character, Roebuck Wright, in that movie is so good. Jeffrey Wright is so incredible. I needed to have him in here somewhere. And as Roebuck Wright, he does, all the narration of that third story, the third vignette. And it includes a little aside where he gives this speech about him being kind of lonely in the world and how restaurants and why he writes about food is because, there's always a table for you. There's always something there for you, even if you're alone. And I think it fit perfectly in A Lost Soul, and it just really spoke to me when I watched it for a second time. And so I'm going to go with Roebuck Wright, played by Jeffrey Wright, as my Lost Soul.
Love that. Love when somebody gets to play basically their own name. Lots of fun. Shout out Will Smith. Okay. Kicking it now over to Hannah.
Okie dokie. I'm feeling okay, although Randy messed me up with that Bryan Cranston dog. I really had a plan for him, and you swept in on that one, but that's okay.
He's got a brother.
Yeah, and I want Liev Schreiber on my list so badly, and I'm hoping I will put him somewhere else that means more to me. Well, as a pause on my timer, a side thought, I rewatched Isle of Dogs, and I had remembered it totally differently. I had remembered the Liev Schreiber dog being, like, much more invested in the boy, and then you meet him, and he's like, "Well, this is my mate, and we're having puppies, and I have to move on from the boy." And I was like, "I didn't remember that at all," which really threw me off. But anyway, Liev will have a place. He is one of my favorite guys in the world. But what I'm gonna do is, under Precocious Child, I'm gonna take Christopherson from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yep.
I'm gonna get that on the board.
Such a great character.
Yeah. And I love Ash really deeply, but he's a lost soul. And Christopherson is a precocious child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Excellent pick. Not a bad name on a character either. Okay. Well, with that then, we can kick it on over to Sarah. Sarah, you are up.
All right, so I am going to go in the flawed mentor category because everybody else already took all of my picks in that category that I was planning on. So I have to snag a character before it's gone.
This keeps happening to you.
It does keep happening to me, but it is what it is. That's what happens in a draft. So in the flawed mentor category, I am going to choose Mr. Henry in Bottle Rocket.
Nice.
Because without him, we don't have Dignan, and we don't have the whole journey we go on.
Okay. We've already established Dignan's important. Great case for Mr. Henry.
He is.
Someone had to respect the lawn wranglers.
I'm just here, you know. This is my public service for today.
Doing it valiantly. And with that, you have an advantage, right? Don't let them keep bullying you into categories. You're picking on the turn.
I am. And so I think for my next pick, I am going to go in the precocious child category. And I am also going to go with Isle of Dogs, which was a joy to revisit. And I'm going to pick our girl Tracy because she rocks. I was so tickled by her rewatching this film, and I was so invested in her character. She's on top of things and getting things done. And I love that. I love a girl with a vision.
This movie has a scene performed between Greta Gerwig and Yoko Ono. Come on.
I mean, that's dope. Okay, yeah, Greta certainly has vision, and glad to hear Tracy does too. Okay, solid second pick. That precocious child category is getting narrow as well. Hannah, we are back to you. You've got your precocious child, but you still have to pick your detached parent. You could do a flawed mentor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's it gonna be?
I know. What I'm going to do is something that's going to put me in trouble later, but I'm doing it so extremely on purpose for Liev reasons. Hang in with me, guys. For detached parent, I'm going Esteban from Life Aquatic. Detached, so detached, he is dead. He is eaten. He was eaten. And I love Life Aquatic.
I hate to be eaten, really.
Could be a flawed mentor, but I'm not putting him there.
Gotta look out for those jaguar sharks.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing this right.
No, it's tough to parent once you've been eaten. I totally agree. Very detached.
Okay.
All right.
Guys.
And Steve is so lost without him.
He really is.
Okay, Bill George. Back to you, buddy. This thing is clipping along. What's it going to be?
All right. I am going to pick my schemer, and I'm going to pick Bjorn, played by Michael Cera in the Phoenician Scheme. It's such a great kind of twist reveal moment in that movie. Truly a schemer of schemers. So yeah, that was just a fun performance and one of the standout parts of that film, which I didn't necessarily love as a whole, but that couple moments, including that one, stood out to me.
Michael Cera feels made for the Wes Anderson world, feels made for this aesthetic, yeah? Okay. If there's no further comment, I'll pass it over to Randy for his next pick. You've got 1 minute, Randy.
Well,
not that you dangerously flirt with the clock. every single time.
Me?
Not
Why, I
you.
never. Listen, I know what I'm going to do this time. I told you how much I love the movie Rushmore, and I've watched in horror. So many of my favorite characters went off the list. Some of them I can blame the other drafters for. One of them I can only blame myself for. I locked
Mm.
myself out of Herman Bloom when I decided to go with Steve Zissou. I can only blame myself. Um, Dirk is gone. Rosemary's gone. However, I can still grab one of my favorite precocious children in one Margaret Yang from Rushmore. Absolutely love Margaret. She's the only one who can match Max's energy, and in fact surpass him. One of my favorite things about her is when we get to the end of that film. Um, Max has actually maybe grown a little bit more emotionally than her, but I love her, like, not being afraid to stand up to Miss Cross when she and Max are going to share a dance, and in a teenager sort of way. But I love Margaret so much, and the fact that she doesn't just fall into some sort of stereotypical pattern, right? Like, she's game to get into Max's plays and take on different roles and performances, and yeah, she just rules.
All right, we'll take it. Margaret, welcome to the draft. Scott, we're back to you. Coming to some of your final picks here. Just
Yeah.
3 left to make. What's it going to be?
So I wouldn't feel right if I didn't put Angelica Houston on my list, and I only have one more option for her. And it's, you guys can tell me if you think this is category fraud. I will change categories. So do you think Eleanor Zissou could be a flawed mentor? My argument, I guess, is that she is sort of like the stabilizing element for Steve. I think if I remember correctly, she provides financially for him for his expeditions. Is flawed in the sense that she lacks emotional intelligence. Like when she just, I love that scene where he walks up, she goes, "Your cat's dead," and he's like, "Oh, did you have to break it to me that way?" Um, so what do y'all think? Flawed mentor, would that work?
I was seeing a lot of nods.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
think
mostly
so.
Yeah,
consensus.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
I think it works.
Eleanor, let's do it.
Solid case made, sir. Well drafted.
Thank you.
All right. That means we're back to you, Leah.
Okay, great. Well, that helped me out a lot because I was between the two, not really remaining, but the two Angelica Houston performances for My Detached Parent. So I will then go with Etheline Royal because I want to give a doppelganger, mom doppelganger, just to freak Francis Whitman out.
Hasn't he been through enough, Leah?
Sorry.
Amazing.
Okay.
Very good. Where are you going next?
And then next, I will do My Precocious Child. We can all do our wild cards last. How fun. I am choosing one Mr. Ricky from Asteroid City, played by Ethan Josh Lee, I believe is the actor's name. There's so many precocious children in Asteroid City. It's the whole point of the movie in a sense. I love them. They're delightful. Ricky is the little reporter who starts reporting on the goings on at this convention. They threaten him with treason, which is just delightful. Not the character or the storyline that I thought I would be talking about with Asteroid City. I love so much the our town theatrics of it all, but he's a good little guy, and I'm happy to have him here, and I hope he and Susie get along as well. Everyone, I'm trying to make connections in my group.
I'll fight it all the way to the Supreme Court, and I'll win.
Yes.
That sounds precocious to me.
A king. Yeah.
My goodness, precocious king. Leah, I love the way you are gaming towards the pitch you don't have to make, but like making sure that you really,
Just in case.
yeah, the chemistry between these characters, the connections you want to build.
And I'm building a family. I
mean,
have a reporter and a doctor.
You'll get one
We're
last
gonna be
chance to sell
sustainable.
us. You're laying the groundwork. This is all time well spent.
I love this. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, with 2 well-picked categories, we are back to you now, Scott. What's it going to be?
All right. Precocious child, Sam Shakusky, played by Jared Gilman in Moonrise
Mhm.
Kingdom. Yeah, for I think at the time, non-actors, those two kids are incredible in that movie. They carry the movie, and I actually liked in Patterson a few years later, Jim Jarmusch's movie where they showed up again in a scene. That was cute. But yeah, I think he's great. He's also a really good Twitter follow. He's very funny, Jerry Gilman. But
I was
yeah, he's
just
great.
about to say that.
Yeah, he's great in that
Great
movie.
Twitter follow.
But yeah, great. Yeah, exactly.
I'm shocked that fell this far. Like, that feels like the poster boy for Precocious Child in an Anderson movie.
Well, that does it for Precocious Children. He was officially the last pick in the category.
Wow.
Well done, Scott. Thank you. Okay, we're back to you now, Randy.
Well, this is a character who was shouted out as a lost soul earlier, and I agree with that logic. However, I'm going to actually draft him as my wild card, and I'm going to go with Ash from the fantastic Mr. Fox. He is absolutely a lost soul. He's in a bad place. He's awful to his lovely cousin Christopherson, but he also feels so distant from his dad, who will not look at him twice. But
he's weird. He's little.
Yeah, he's weird, he's twisted, but he is not going to take no for an answer. He's the true wild card. You don't get him a bandit hat, he will fashion one out of a tube sock. You don't invite him along, he will show up. And he gets the most laughs for me out of that entire movie easily. So yeah, Ash is the man. And I needed some Jason Schwartzman representation because I do love the man. So there you go.
Great pick. That is our first wild card of the night. Randy, you had me fooled because, peek behind the curtain, your cursor on the shared doc was on the Lost Soul category.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
You totally fooled me going wild card there. Very, very nice. All right, keep me on my toes. Bill George, we're on to you, sir. 1 minute on the clock. You've got your flawed mentor. I know you know this, but for the audience at home, and your wild card left to pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go flawed mentor, which literally everyone that I had lined up has been selected. So I had to scramble a little bit, and I'm going to make this pick purely on an actor standpoint. Since I can't recreate Grand Budapest Hotel, I want to at least get F. Murray Abraham in here somewhere. So I'm going to pick Jupiter, the dog from Isle of Dogs that welcomes our pack to Trash Island and kind of shows him the way a little bit there. So I'm going to go with F. Murray Abraham as Jupiter in Isle of Dogs.
Love it. Great name for a dog. Great choice. Okay, Hannah.
Phil, I was like, he's going to take what I was going to take for Flawed Mentor, and so I will have to say Jupiter and Oracle. And then the other thing happened. So I, for my Flawed Mentor, have 2 Bill Murray picks, but because I'm saving the French Dispatch for something else, for my Flawed Mentor, I'm going Herman Bloom Rushmore.
Perfect.
I can't believe I got him. I love that thing where we're smoking 2 cigarettes at the same time. Are you doing okay?
I'm shocked that made
Not
it this
really.
far too.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite Bill Murray guy. Just so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
I thought I was going to get Rosemary Cross, so I took Steve Zissou instead, and then I regretted it. Great pick.
We could trade, but we won't.
Putting a good board together so far, Hannah. All right, back to you now, Sarah. 2 picks in a row. Where are you going to go first?
All right. First, I am going to go to Loyal Sidekick, and I'm going to pick Nescafé from the French Dispatch because he saves the day. Like, because he knows what this kid is allergic to, he's able to save the commissioner's son. Like, that is the most loyal that you're going to get. So I love that character. He's such an overlooked part of that movie. So I wanted to give him a shout out here.
Excellent pick.
That is, in fact, the character's name?
Nescafé.
Yeah, Nescafé.
Yeah, okay. We love it. You're about to close out your draft board. Sarah, what will be your wild card?
Okay, so for my wild card, I am going to go with Pele in Life Aquatic.
Yes.
I don't love Life Aquatic. I'm sorry, everyone, but that character brings so much to the film. And I love every scene that he's in. I'm having a great time every time I see him. So, Pele, welcome aboard. You're on my team.
And if you've never listened to his full Life Aquatic album, just all those Brazilian Bowie covers, I still listen to that regularly.
It's so good.
Such a joy.
Love it. Okay, that is our first draft board officially closed. Sarah Callen, well done tonight. But we're now back to you, Hannah, for your
Yes.
wild card pick.
My wild card, here's some options I had on the table. Here I was like the Black Owl from Isle of Dogs, perhaps the alien from Asteroid City. But no. The most important thing to me is the interviewer from French Dispatch, Liev Schreiber, as that beautiful interviewer who opens that sequence with the biggest, warmest heart. You absolutely need him for that to work as well as it does. I think he's beautiful. I wish he would do more, Wes. I know he's been popping up, but I really think he has a wonderful, almost Wilsonian energy, you might say, that we could use more of in these late Wes's. So, Liev Schreiber interviewer, my wild card, my love.
Great pick, great actor, great Boston accent when he does one. All right. Coming back around to you, Mr. Bill George. What will be your wild card pick?
I also had Liev Schreiber as a possibility. I also had Sarah's pick as a possibility. So I think we're all thinking along the same lines for some of these wild cards. But I already admitted I won't be able to get Alec Baldwin as the narrator, which was my original goal. So instead, I'm going to go to Moonrise Kingdom with Bob Balaban as the narrator. I am a sucker for voiceover narration in all movies, but particularly in Wes ones, just because of how well written and dryly delivered they are. And so I will take Bob Balaban as the narrator for Moonrise.
Excellent choice. First narrator on the board tonight. Randy, time for your last pick. Who will be your lost soul?
All right. I hope no one will fight me on this. Because this is sort of similar to something Leah said earlier. This character, I wouldn't really call her a lost soul. Like she does have her life.
Starting off strong.
She does have her life together. She has a lot of self-confidence, and understanding of herself. But I get the sense that she is burdened, and to a certain extent, by her commitments to other people. So I'm going to go with Inez from Bottle Rocket. She finds herself in this situation where, she's working in this hotel. This guy, Anthony, comes along, and she's so understandably torn about her attraction to this guy who is even more of a lost soul than she is, who means well, but really isn't aware of his own privilege or anything else. And when she tries to push him aside, there's this great scene I think about all the time, where her friend translates for her, and he's trying to translate why Inez is dumping him. And she says, "You're trash," like floating in the wind. Then he says, "It doesn't sound that way in Spanish." And you can tell she's trying to say something about him as this wandering spirit. But the fact that she has to, push away something that she's enjoying because of all these other considerations, I do get the sense she's a little bit trapped in that world, and I want great things for her. So she's coming along on our journey.
Right. A solid final pick. Inez is yours, sir. And with that, you're done for the night. Scott, we're back to you for your final pick. It's in your wild card category. What's it going to be?
For my last pick, I'm going to take Mrs. Fox, or Felicity Fox, voiced by Meryl Streep. She could have fit in other categories, but this is just how it worked out. But I think Meryl Streep is a very underrated voice actor. I think back to I'm a big Simpsons fan from the classic days. Her performance as Reverend Lovejoy's daughter, she's great at voice acting, and she's really she's funny, fantastic Mr. Fox, but she also finds the right tone of funny, but also nurturing, but also appropriately lacks trust in it just all. I just can't imagine anyone doing that character better. It's such a well modulated performance from her, as always, because she's the best. So.
What a power couple.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And securing Meryl Streep as the last performer of the night for you, excellent pick. Well done, Scott. Okay, Leah, you had the first pick. Now you have the last pick with 1 minute on the clock. Your wild card, please.
Oh boy, what a way to end this with a purely self-indulgent pick from me to all of you. For my wild card, I am choosing a blink and you miss it character named Morisot in the French Dispatch, played by one tiny British man, Alex Lawther.
The crowd's cheering.
Well, you know him, you love him. Just a great actor. The end. I wish he would do more Wes Anderson films as well. He's got a good face for it. He's got a good vibe for it. The end by Leah.
The good face. Excellent pick. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for our draft portion tonight. Everybody, phenomenal job. Hopefully, the deep Anderson fans at home feel like you did an excellent job celebrating his canon tonight. But to hear from everybody one last time, I'd love to just run through your draft board, who you picked in which category. And yeah, if there's a unifying vision for it all, feel free to hit us with it. No pressure. We're going to go in draft order. So, Leah, we're coming right back to you. You are a seasoned media lit drafter. I trust you to light us up. Take us through your board.
My internet is unstable, according to Zoom. Love that. All right. So, for Precocious Child, I had Ricky from Asteroid City. From Detached Parent, hold on. We actually went with Ethylene Tenenbaum, the Royal Tenenbaums. Lost Soul, Francis Whitman, the Darjeeling Limited. Loyal Sidekick, Dr. Chatterjee, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Flawed Mentor, Rosemary Cross, Olivia Williams, As We Must. Rushmore. Schemer, Anthony, Bottle Rocket. Dreamer, Susie Bishop, Moonrise Kingdom. Wildcard, Morisot, The French Dispatch. I've got a teacher, a doctor, a reporter, an actor. Everything a small society in the head of Wes Anderson needs.
And you know, a group that could probably do just fine on the Lost Island. So really, well picked. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Very good. To our second drafter of the night, Scott Cole, feel free to take us through your draft board, please.
All right. For Precocious Child, I have Sam Shakusky from Moonrise Kingdom. Detached Parent, I have Midge Campbell from Asteroid City. Lost Soul, Chaz Tenenbaum, Royal Tenenbaums. Loyal Sidekick, Liesel, the Nun, Sister Liesel, from Phoenician Scheme. Flawed Mentor, Eleanor Zissou from Life Aquatic. Schemer, Dignan, or Jerry, from Bottle Rocket. Dreamer, Max Fisher, from Rushmore. And my wild card was Mrs. Fox from Fantastic Mr. Fox. I don't want to keep beating the drum, but I said it before and I did mean it. When you look at a cast list for a lot of Wes Anderson movies, it's mostly men. So I wanted to make sure I acknowledged some of the women, and I have half and half, and that makes me happy.
Scott, you crushed it, brother. Very well done. Yeah, love the vision. Okay, Bill George, your draft board, please.
All right. I got my Precocious Child, Zero, our beloved lobby boy. Detached Parent, Royal Tenenbaum himself. Lost Soul, Roebuck Wright. Loyal Sidekick, Dirk Calloway. Flawed Mentor, Jupiter. My Schemer, Bjorn. My Dreamer, Ned Plimpton. And my wild card narrator, Bob Balaban. What you gotta say? I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about my child and detached parent. I mean, that's my big 1-2 right there.
Yeah. Very well done. A professional drafter as always. And coming up next, Hannah Blechman. You did it. You got through it.
I did it. I've learned now. I think when I was like planning out my picks, I was like, I got to dig deep because everybody's going to get all the big guys. So I shouldn't even aim for big guys, but I could have gotten a couple of big guys if I had, but I didn't. I think I got 0 big guys. No, whatever. It's fine. My Precocious Child, Christopherson, Fantastic Mr. Fox. My Detached Parent, Esteban, Life Aquatic. My Lost Soul, The Swan. My Loyal Sidekick, Scoutmaster Randy. Flawed Mentor, Herman Bloom. Schemer, Jaja Korda. Dreamer, Richie Tenenbaum. And my wildcard, Leo Schreiber's Interviewer. I have a group of adult professionals taking a child camping. They're going to have a bad time out there, but I hope that they all find some peace, you know. I'm really sad I didn't end up with somebody from Darjeeling on my list. That movie means a lot to me, but wasn't meant to be this time. Had a good time. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully Christopherson is safe with this group. He's got Scoutmaster Randy, so I'm sure it'll be a
I
successful
think
trip.
there's parents in this group. There are parents who would take good care of a child, but it's a sad camping trip, you know? It's a sad office retreat with one child.
Yeah. Very, very well done. To be a fly on the wall of that trip. Okay. Sarah Callen, on to you. Take us through your draft board.
All right, my precocious child is Tracy from the Isle of Dogs. My detached parent is Sister Patricia Whitman from the Darjeeling Limited. My lost soul is Margot from the Royal Tenenbaums. My loyal sidekick is Nescaffier from the French Dispatch. My flawed mentor is Mr. Henry from Bottle Rocket. My schemer is Mr. Fox from Fantastic Mr. Fox. My dreamer is Henry Sugar from The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And my wild card is the one and only Pele from Life Aquatic. And I think this group would be a lot of scheming, a lot of emotional repression with some great food and great music. So honestly, I'm not mad at hanging out with this group.
You've got 2 misters and a sister, so I think you did great.
Having a good time over here.
Awesome. Very well done. Last but not least, Randy Elaine, the mastermind behind this draft, the passionate Wes Anderson fan who wanted to see this thing come to life. Take us through your draft board, and then I would love to hear if there's any surprises of the night, any characters that were left off, or films that were or were not celebrated as much as you might have thought.
Yeah, so I'll start off with my draft board. The conceit of this exercise was that Wes Anderson is stuck in a dream world. So I think in my dream world, I opened my draft with M. Gustav as my schemer. I think Wes Anderson is in a Bardo space sort of hotel, perhaps the Grand Budapest itself. And I have filled this place full of people who will both remind Wes Anderson not to get too caught up in ego and pretension and becoming a parody of himself, and also some very humble souls that will remind him about true human emotion. Guiding him through it all will be his loyal sidekick, Chief from Isle of Dogs, who can help talk some sense into him. I'll admit, Ash from Fantastic Mr. Fox does not fit my story as perfectly, but he is the perfect wild card to amp up the pressure on Wes. But yeah, some of these other characters he's going to hang with: precocious child Margaret Yang and detached parent Steve Zissou. Those warnings about ego. He'll get to connect with people like Lost Soul Inez and flawed mentor Captain Sharp. And perhaps as Wes learns his own lessons, he can also help our poor guy Eli Cash find some peace with himself and his own soul and spirit. Let that dreamer find a reality that works for him.
Beautiful.
Whew. But yeah, I want to thank everyone. This was a total blast. So the first thing I'll do is I'll share something embarrassing with you as a thank you. Hannah kept drafting Scoutmaster Randy, who I had listed as Scoutmaster Ward. I've talked about being an archery instructor for 2 summers once upon a time. I don't recall, though, Chris, if I've ever confessed to you that when I would present awards to the campers at the end of the week during the awards ceremony, the camp director knew it would embarrass me, so he started calling me Ranger Randy.
Oh, no.
And that became my nickname for many a summer. So I was triggered when I heard Scoutmaster Randy, but it's all good. So now you all get to know a new embarrassing detail about me. No, but Chris, this could not have possibly gone any better. You were all so smart. I loved that we were celebrating so many of the same characters and performances. I think we covered every single property, at least a little bit. And I think, to celebrate every movie that I wanted to celebrate. And yeah, there are still some great characters out there. But I really think we did it right. I think we got everything. Is there anyone else who has an honorable mention, someone they would have loved to see go off the board who didn't quite make the cut? Feel free to jump in.
I was going to note that we don't have any Adrian Brody characters.
Not a one.
Interesting, yeah.
And that's really interesting.
My
I'm
second,
gonna tell him myself.
Yeah, I was close. I was close to taking.
He's
I was too.
on my board in many places.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it just never quite fit.
Dimitri from Grand Budapest was one of my alternates for wild card. I was like, I need an Adrian Brody somewhere, but
Yeah. I thought about Agatha from Grand Budapest quite a bit. I like
for-
her, and
Because again, I was digging too deep for no reason. I had the author, the Jude Law character from Grand
Yes,
Budapest
good
as a
one.
lost soul. I don't know why I felt I had to go like C tier on every choice.
No, I like this often my draft strategy is to go for those deeper dives and just
Yeah.
have like a really good reasoning around it so your ultimate unified
Yeah.
vision is strong enough.
Oh, you know what? I did grab Ralph Fiennes as M. Gustav, so he was off the table for me for the rest of the draft. But his role, Doll, in Henry
Also
Sugar
very
is
good.
so good. He would have been on my list in a heartbeat.
I rewatched Darjeeling for this as well because I hadn't seen that in a long time. And in my wild card, I had Brendan the assistant. It's a possibility. Didn't end up going there though. I also really love. If I had to pick from Asteroid City, I was going to pick Jeffrey Wright as the general because his speech is my favorite part of that movie. But I took him as Roebuck Wright instead. But he was on my list too.
I
would have
listened
loved to
Jeffrey
find a
Wright
place
read the
for-
phone book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's
True.
the best. We're glad to have him. We're very lucky in the West sphere. I would have loved to find a place for Jones Hall, the actor that Jason Schwartzman is playing in the framing device of Asteroid City. Just like one of the saddest guys with just like a very complicated thing happening that is so well presented and deeply, deeply sad. And took me like 2 viewings to really wrap my head around.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman, like the longest collaborator. For me, Asteroid City is his best work he's done in a Wes Anderson.
I did have Cousin Ben from Moonrise Kingdom, the Jason Schwartzman character, in a schemer position, willing to send children off to a shrimp boat.
Oh,
What a king.
not good.
I really like that kid from Asteroid City who keeps asking everyone to dare him to do things. I was thinking about picking him for Precocious Child for a little bit. I need to look up his name, but I was like, the kid is always daring him to do stuff.
That's so real.
I had the alien from Asteroid City as one of my wildcard options just to be extra weird, but Pele was right there, so I had to take it.
I think Hannah called that out too earlier in the draft as a
Well,
consideration.
yeah, I mean, like, I also had Pele as a wild card, but you got him, and I was so pleased. Like, really important musical. Sue George is doing extraordinary work.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to mention him.
Wait, did we draft any Goldblum characters?
I don't think there's a Goldblum on the board.
No, I don't think so.
I had Alistair Hennessy from Life Aquatic in my... So, like, I just filled out the entire board in prep, is what I did. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, no, you had a basis card.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Whew. So I had Jeff Goldblum there. I wanted to find a place for the Jeff Goldblum dog because he has that recurring... Did you hear the rumor?
Yeah.
You heard the rumor, right? Which I think is the funniest little bit. You hear the rumor about those Aboriginal dogs? No, they're cannibals. It's my favorite line in that movie.
That's what they say.
Well,
who tells you these things?
Coming in
Did
pretty
we have a
blind to
Willem
this.
Dafoe? No rats?
No Willem Dafoe. I was
No
shocked by that
Klaus?
too. No
No,
Klaus.
the killer in Grand Budapest?
No,
Jopling.
I am shocked
wanted,
that Klaus was not a loyal sidekick for anyone.
Yes. Surprised by that as well. And no Harvey Keitel takes either. I kind of wanted him somewhere.
I was thinking about him for Flawed Mentor from Grand Budapest. Grand Budapest.
Sure.
It's like, in the jail, he's the Flawed Mentor. Absolutely.
Oh, big time. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Do we
this
have
was
any
awesome.
Tilda?
I would have had Tilda if I had to put the Isle of Dogs. I would have put both Jupiter and Oracle as a pair, F. Murray and Tilda.
Oh.
I thought hard about Social Services because I just like the whole thing. I like the outfit. I like the performance. It's all strange and weird and good.
I thought about Tilda in French Dispatch when she's doing the presentation. Is that what you're going to say?
Yep. Yeah, she was one of my wild cards in that. She's so electric in that scene, and the visuals are just incredible.
So good.
I also thought about Frances McDormand and French Dispatch's Flawed Mentor.
I could see that.
Yeah, very flawed.
Definitely more
Or
flawed
that way
than the one that I went with.
But yeah, Chris, can you
For the same
believe
reason.
some of the performers who make it into these Wes Anderson films? Like, there's a whole Kate Blanchett we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, the folks that didn't get discussed tonight blow my mind. Dropping big names here. These aren't like one-off, deep cut actors. Well, it just goes to show the depth of that Wes Anderson world and the kinds of folks who want to come and work with him. No surprise. This was a ton of fun for me. I certainly feel semi-educated and enticed, certainly appetized. So I'm looking forward to digging in and learning a little bit more thanks to the passion I witnessed tonight. I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. We'll go around the horn and hear from everybody. I would love for you to just tell the folks at home where they might find your work in the world. And if you're anywhere on socials, they can give you a follow. Thanks again for joining us. I had an absolute blast doing this with you all. So we'll go in reverse draft order. Sarah Callen, thank you for joining the pod tonight. Where can the folks find you out in the world?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I co-host a podcast called Movies and Us, and we have actually had Randy and Chris on the podcast before, so make sure that you follow and go listen to that episode. Yeah, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Threads at Movies and Us Pod.
It's a great pod and a great follow, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Sarah. And then new friend of the pod, first time, not the last time, Hannah Blechman.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm Hannah Blechman. I'm the co-host of the Authorized Novelizations podcast, where we read movie novelizations. So if it was a movie first and a book second, we're going to read that book.
It's amazing.
Leah's been on. I would love to have any of you on if you're willing to commit to reading like a 300-page book that probably sucks. They usually do. It's great. We have a ton of fun. We read literally a book a week. And my co-host is insane, and we love him. So please give us a listen. Give us come join us. Come be on our podcast.
If you want to play the most convoluted games you've ever played in your entire life and completely panic, go on Hannah's podcast.
Yeah, it's
sounds
you're
like
invited.
My happy place.
It sounds like
what
absolutely
a sell.
happy place.
So it's a blast. We have a great time. We are currently reading the spin-off books of Darkman. So, there were sequel movies. Those didn't get novelized, but there were unrelated spin-off books. So we're going deep, baby.
Wow.
We are at Authorized Pod on socials generally. And I personally am HS Blechman on socials generally. And I don't know, most active on Instagram, which you don't want to follow me on. Or Letterboxd is the place to be. I just treat Instagram like a normal thing still. I'm not branding on it. So if you want to follow me, you're going to get pictures of my cat and my hair and
nice.
It's not. So it's up to you if you want that.
It's probably better than branding.
Yeah, that's the good stuff as far as I'm concerned. Thank you again for joining us tonight. This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Bill George, my good friend, dear sir, thank you for coming back to Media Lit. It is a pleasure as always. Where can the folks find you and your voice in the world?
Thrilled to be here. Thrilled. You can follow on Instagram at Should I Go See It, or search for Should I Go See It wherever you get your podcasts. On Instagram, you'll get a yes or no to whether you should go see that movie and a one-sentence review. And then on the podcast, we take our time to extrapolate on that and kind of get into some more discussion. We also dive into industry news and TV in a segment called Netflix and Bill. So yeah, follow at Should I Go See It.
Three guys in that podcast. They have a great bit of chemistry amongst them. It's a blast to listen to. Highly recommend.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right, Scott Cole, thank you again for joining us. We mentioned that you are an experienced podcast guest. That's the word, guest. You're an experienced podcast guest. Guest star. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Randy.
I guess so. I was going to say, I don't have a podcast to promote, so I'd like to shout out Sarah's podcast. She and Jen were nice enough to have me on to talk about Cold Mountain, where I got to sit on my Nashville high horse and criticize the Southern accents and how accurate they were. That was fun.
It was incredible. That was one of my favorite episodes that we had because, yes, that was amazing.
I played a clip of Charlie Hunnam. I'm like, listen to the Southern accent, and then I made fun of it.
Oh, that poor guy. He can't.
Yeah, it was a bit cruel looking back, but we had fun. And then our buddy Andrew, who had me on his Revisionist Almanac show, I kind of owe this all to him because he's been nice enough to connect me with everybody here. So that's a great show, and I was on his episode about 1991. That was a lot of fun. But really, I'm just on Twitter and Instagram. If you like tweets about movies or tennis, pro tennis, or the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, come follow me. It's my name. It's at Cole, Scott, but it's all spelled out because Scott Cole is taken by some Tai Chi guru. So it's at Cole, Scott, and that's Twitter and Instagram. I still call it Twitter. And then I have a Letterboxd, and that's linked in my Twitter, so you can find me there.
Is that other Scott Cole the Wes Anderson character? Because it sounds like it.
No, there's a guy there's some guy who's like a big Tai Chi fitness guy, and he has Scott Cole tied up everywhere. So,
dang.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well.
And it's forever Twitter here at Media Lit, so you're in good company.
Deal.
Last but not least, Leah Marilla Thomas. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me back. When I was last here, my Twitter and Instagram and all socials were private. They're not anymore. I decided I wanted attention more than I cared about whatever I cared about when I locked them up. You can find me at Leah Marilla on Twitter, Instagram, where I'm also relatively normal and not branding. Letterboxd, where I'm doing whatever. And my writing these days is at Cosmopolitan and the Mary Sue and Teen Vogue and hopefully more places. I live a feast or famine media presence lifestyle because I'm a freelance journalist. That's me. Find me on Letterboxd. I want more Letterboxd followers.
Support
it's
journalists.
Nice there so far. Support me. Support journalists.
Fuck the rest of them.
Yeah.
They're all good. We're all in a bardo together.
Ain't that lovely? Great group of podcasters. Thank you all again. Randy Elaine, we couldn't have done it without you, sir. Plug some stuff, please.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. And thank you for taking over the hosting duties. I'm still recovering from that Game of Thrones draft that I gamified and turned into a giant edit for myself. So this was a really nice break. I got to just embrace my draft board. But as for where you can find me, first, stay right here in Media Lit and be on the lookout for our quotation marks monthly community rewatch episodes, Remedial Rewatch Community 101 with our good friend Tyler McCarthy. Those are always a blast. And we've got our research paper episode coming up where we're going to dig into the Dan Harmon of it all and the story behind the show before we wrap up those last 3 seasons. You can also check me out over at the Pop Break with all of our friends over there. Chris has joined Justin Mancini and myself on Podling, our Beck discography podcast. So we are tooling through the discography there. Our episode on Wero should be dropping right after this episode drops on the Media Lit feed. And look for my writing on the Pop Break as I cover House of the Dragon Season 3 episode by episode. I really hope it's good because I am pumped for it right now in this moment.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you like Randy's voice when he's speaking, you're going to love his voice even more in writing. His writing is excellent, so check him out on thepopbreak.com. Randy, thank you for plugging Media Lit and all the places where folks can find our various works. As for me, I am the co-host of Media Lit, very gratefully. And we're on all of the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, most of the Twitters, YouTube now too. Check out our video content. Aside from Media Lit, I'm also the co-host of Batman by the Numbers on thepopbreak.com. This is a once-a-month podcast going deep on the Dark Knight. We spent 2025 doing Superman. We had to celebrate the Big Blue Boy Scout for his new film, but in 2026, it's been our Batman era's era as we go through his filmography one era at a time, starting with 66 Batman and working our way all the way up to the present day with a few pit stops along the way. We do drafts, we do rankings. We have an absolute blast on Batman by the Numbers. You will find Randy Elaine there quite often, and Bill George too will be back with us later on this year. So tune into Batman by the Numbers. Aside from those things, I'm an actor and a voice actor, a father and a husband. You can catch me doing those things on Instagram or Blue Sky at Chris_Ingersoll, and that's Chris spelled like Kringle.
All right, folks. I think that does it for tonight on Media Lit. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
And then you got to close with Making Time, the song from Rushmore, when they're doing the montage. All this thing. Making time.